Well, thanks everybody for showing up. I appreciate you being here, and hopefully we'll find some useful information and information that you can use to maybe make an informed decision. And not necessarily that you need to move, but at least you'll have all the information available to you to make that decision. And there's got to be a better life. So the first part of this is just some videos to kind of give you a flavor of what the Idaho is. This is the town I live in. This is Nampa. And I just went out a few Saturdays ago and just started shooting. Watch that guy. No helmets.
No helmets.
Because you don't need, if you want a helmet, you wear one. If you don't, you don't. Which is really, so this was, they're having a baptism over at our lake. I think it's 17 square miles of water there. It's a reservoir. The interesting thing is that even though it's a hot summer day, there's plenty of room to park. There's plenty of people there, but you can still park. You don't spend all day looking for a place to park and traffic. And I see one boat. I think there's another one. There, oh, maybe two more. Oh, there it is. It's just like you have room to stretch out and enjoy life. So this is our Andrews Park. This is Lakeview Park. And we have community stuff just like they do here. But I didn't park 4 blocks away to get there either. There's from one end of the valley just panning across. And that's, Boise is over on the other side.
What, on the other side of the mountain?
No, on the other side of the valley.
Oh, on the other side of the mountain.
Yeah. This is one of the busiest streets in town. There, fair enough, I waited for the light to change so you could actually see some traffic. And this is just east of Boise, kind of up in the mountains. This is Grimes Creek. I was selling a house right up there. So peaceful. So we're in the Treasure Valley. And so where's the Treasure Valley? It's the area around Boise. And where is it from here? Well, from Sacramento, you can see it's 8.5 hours to get there. So Vacaville, it's another 40 minutes, depending on traffic. It's a very much a straight shot. It's just 80 up to Winnemucca, and then a nice 70 mile an hour all the way up into Nampa. I say 70 because Oregon used to be 55, but they've raised it, so it's much quicker now. And so the Treasure Valley area, where you just saw that shot of me panning across the valley, was right here. And I was looking over here, and there's the mountains. And so this is the Treasure Valley. It's surrounded by mountains all around here. And it really protects us from that Canadian blast of cold air. That I was born and raised in Nebraska. That Canadian blast would come down and just freeze us. But because of these mountains around us, we have very mild winters. Last winter was kind of an anomaly, but this is where I live, and this is where our brokerage is. And this is a town that's about the same size, 80,000. This has probably got 8,000 and maybe 10,000. But of course, Boise's got a little over 200,000. And probably in the metro area, that's probably closer to 300 with all the little towns involved.
What's the mileage here? Like from Nampa to Boise?
From here to here is probably 11, 12 miles. And right here is 10-mile road. So this is going to be 10 miles from, I assume, downtown Boise. So it doesn't take too long to get across. I spent more time in traffic yesterday coming through Sacramento down here than I have in the last 6 months up here. And one of the reasons for that is that every mile above or below the freeway, there's another road going across. So if it's rush hour on the freeway, you just go up a mile or down a mile and you cut across, and it's unlike, 80. If you're stuck on 80, there's no side streets that you can really take. So I really like this. Some different subjects that you guys might be interested in, and if you're not, let me know and we'll just fast forward over them. Today we're here at the Nampa School District learning about schools, teachers, and what it can mean for your kids. Hi, Kathleen Tuck.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
Great. Nampa School District is a district of choice. What that means is that our parents can choose any of our excellent schools to send their children to, and our students can choose from a variety of programs that fit their needs. For instance, we have AP and dual credit classes for students who are on the college track. We also have a number of career and technical education programs ranging from engineering and health studies to culinary arts or a number of other programs. We also have a great selection of electives such as art, music, theater, anything that students want they can find here in our district. Here are a few reasons you might want to choose Nampa.
Well, that's some impressive information there, Kathleen. Well, can you tell me more about the school district and the teachers and how they relate with children?
Absolutely. Nampa is a growing and dynamic school district where our teachers really care about kids and where we provide the programs that will help our kids be prepared for life, no matter what it brings them.
So you saw there they had a mock TV station. Well, actually, it's a real TV station, and the kids broadcast from that. My daughter took that class. There's a little glimpse of the speech teacher, and he's the teacher that brought my daughter out. She used to be a shy little thing, and then she went through the speech class, and directly because of his effort, she now out-argue me like that and talk in front of public or in front of people.
She's in drama now, right?
She's a theater major at Boise State, yeah.
Knowing Kelly, it's amazing to me that she's out there showing like that.
It would not have happened out of Vanden High. And it is true, the teachers care. We went to every parent-teacher conference and got to know them, and it's just exactly like it says, the teachers do care and they put out every effort. The schools don't have fences around them. Vanden High had fence, and I think it had barbed wire along the top of it, and the kids they didn't have lockers inside the building, and I think you had to be a junior or senior to actually use the lockers that they had outside. All the other kids, they had to carry backpacks at the school. My daughter went there for 2 weeks while Edwin was helping us close on our house. And once we got up there, and there's no graffiti at the school. It's beautiful, it's clean.
No sagging?
Yeah. One interesting thing that I found out is this thing called WUI. And that's an agreement between the various 11-something different western states that even though you don't, normally if you live in a state, you can get in-state tuition. But if you live in one of these cooperating states, and I guess they're listed right here, and the school participates, not all schools do, but most of I found the community colleges don't usually, but the universities and four-year colleges usually do. But anyway, so you can get tuition at 1.5 times the in-district or in-state rate. So if you have a kid that you're moving in, and you think, well, he's going to end up getting stuck going to community college because of the expense, under WUI, it might be cheaper for him to go to Boise State or something like that. So it's a pretty decent opportunity. So we're talking about jobs here, and this is kind of how a little bit more about how the schools.
One of the very first things I
get
learned
kids
about
ready
when I
for
first
work.
got to the Nampa School District is that we have an incredible professional technical education program here.
We teach to all 3 high schools in the Nampa School District. That includes Columbia, Skyview, and Nampa.
So professional technical education programs are very good ways for students to get experience in different areas, whether it be technology or different skill sets that they need to be able to go out into business and into the business world.
When I showed my parents all the different options, I'm really interested in a lot of this computer technology and then the business applications, and they're really excited about it. They got to see all the options that I had, and they're like, whoa, you could do so many things. And so it was really fun picking out my classes.
Once I started getting into it, I was like, wow, this is really cool. My friends started talking about it and I brought them on.
I just kind of jumped into it and was like, oh, I like this.
I really enjoy walking into these classrooms and watching the kids work. We try to structure them like it's a workplace with the teacher is really the worksite supervisor. Most of schools around the country are trying to do more project-based learning, and the place to learn how to do that great is in PTE.
Instead of just taking regular classes, you get into specific programs that specifically helps with your career that you want.
I've gotten a lot of experience, I've gotten to network, and I have the basic understanding of computer technology and business applications.
These last 2 years I've been working really hard on medical classes like medical terminology, anatomy, physiology, and dental.
It gives them a chance to explore different careers, find out maybe they like something or maybe they don't like something, and make choices based on their own experience and knowledge that they've gained.
The students are not only benefiting after their senior year going out into the workforce, but you see so many kids come in unconfident, unsure, undecided, and through their success stories through the years, they go out confident, ready to take on this world.
If a student was considering these professional technical programs, I definitely tell them that they should join because I didn't know what I wanted to do, but this gave me a basic structure, and then from there I'm oh, now I know what I want to do. I really got the chance to see all the different options.
I would recommend it to others because it has that learning experience where it does tie into a career. You're not going straight from class to a career where you're this doesn't match up, I don't know what I was doing in class, this doesn't apply. or as this, it does.
If I had to tell someone or a parent, the one thing that I would like them to know about PTE is that we have very high standards, and we strive to encourage the student to take ownership of their education.
No matter what future you see for yourself, you need to find time to take some PTE courses while you're in high school. Regardless of whether or not you see yourself going on to graduate level work or you want to enter the workforce right after high school, you are missing out if you don't take at least one and hopefully several professional technical education courses.
We're a composites manufacturer. We manufacture composite showers. We do a wide variety of products, primarily focused on commercial construction or residential construction.
The type of manufacturing that Thor does is we build and manufacture recreational vehicles, both towable and motorized.
We have a variety of manufacturing processes for our end product, which is industrial refrigeration equipment, pipe welding, structural steel welding, sheet metal processing, and we also do a lot of electrical work to build up our units.
Plexus is a high-tech, high-mix, low-volume manufacturing and engineering solutions company. We actually do work for aerospace, government, wireless, communications, all kinds of high-tech applications.
People think of Canyon County as being rural and far away from the center of Boise, which is the center of Idaho in a lot of ways. And it's not. There are really good opportunities here to be a part of the business landscape.
It's a real relationship-based community, and relationships and teamwork is half the battle.
You have a voice here as a business owner, as a company in Canyon County.
Canyon County has a really interesting variety, I think a surprising variety of levels of manufacturing.
From food manufacturers to all kinds of equipment manufacturers, high-tech, low-tech machinery. So it makes it a great place to pull talent from.
The workforce here in Canyon County has been better than we expected.
We have a lot of employees that live in Canyon County and want to work in Canyon County.
For mid-market wages, employers are able to attract and retain talent.
I think we actually have a good balanced proportion to the wages that we pay here and then also the cost of living.
The public schools here have worked to really beef up technical training so that if you are coming out of high school and you know you're not prepared or you don't necessarily want to go seek a 2-year or 4-year degree, you're well positioned with your technical knowledge to get a job.
The big benefit in this area is that there is the desire to teach the skills that are needed to go into manufacturing.
Both the high schools and the universities actually are very good with partnering with us and listening to the voice of the business in terms of what are the gaps we're seeing in the business level so that they can adjust as needed within the education system.
Canyon County is a great location for our business. For one, it's a great place to live. We have a good blend of being a rural area, but having all the services we need to run a business. And we're overall in an environment that's very pro-business. They help us with business and needed, and a lot of times just kind of stay out of our way and let us do business.
Canyon County became a top choice for us when we really started meeting the people and just understanding what their motivations were. And the motivation that we took away was that they wanted us to be successful.
It's not a metropolis like Phoenix or Tucson where I lived for years, but it offers a lot of the same things. So we have a great airport, we have great transportation infrastructure, we have great people, and really you can't have a successful business without great people, and that's what Idaho and Canyon County has to offer.
The type of manufacturing that Thor does is we build and manufacture recreational vehicles, both towable and motorized. When we were looking at expanding and trying to find which location to the west would be best, we visited places in Oregon, places in Utah, places in Idaho, and candidly, this was the last place we looked, and it was the first place we chose. The workforce here in Canyon County has been better than we expected. Finding the right mix of manufacturing background, people, skills, technical training, that type of thing was really, really important, and been very, very thrilled with the types of workers here in Canyon County. And we feel as though we've been able to attract a very diverse workforce here, and it was something that we embraced. I think we provide a very sustainable wage for the lifestyle here in Canyon County. That was something that was very important to us when we were doing our site selection, is to know that we could be what I considered an employer of choice. Canyon County became a top choice for us when we really started meeting the people, just understanding what their motivations were. And the motivation that we took away was that they wanted us to be successful.
So they keep talking about Canyon County. The west side of the valley is where Ada County is, and Boise's in Ada County. And then the east side of the county is where Boise is. The west side is where Nampa is, and that's Canyon County, Nampa, Caldwell. And Ada County, which is the county with Boise's in, is, I think they have a little bit higher taxes. So a lot of businesses do come out to the western part in Canyon County and set up businesses there. So in fact, we had Gale Steel Manufacturing out of Woodland. They just moved up to Caldwell, which is in Canyon County. So if you used to work there, come up and get your old job back. And this website here, whynampa.com, is great for information on, the populations, the demographics, the weather. You'll find on there it talks about how many tornadoes we've had, which is 0. How many earthquakes we've had in recordable history, which is 0. Over 3.5 or something like that. And it's very unlike most other places. Quality.
My name is Laura Alvarez-Schrag, and I'm a business consultant, and I have lived in Nampa for 21 years.
My name is Monique Michelle Duarte, and I'm the director and instructor of the Ballet Folklorico Mexico Lindo from the city of Nampa.
My name is Joel Pearsall. I work for Northwest Nazarene University. I'm the vice president for university advancement here.
My name is Phil Harrop. I'm the executive director of operations for St. Alphonsus Health System here in Nampa.
I started my group in 2003 with 4 students out of my friend's garage. And by the grace of God, I now have 51 students, and we will be completing 12 years in March of next year.
My family moved from Columbus, Ohio, so it's quite a move from Ohio out here to Idaho.
Quite honestly, one of the primary reasons that we looked at Nampa was housing. We looked at housing, and we looked at lot sizes and affordability.
Yeah, one of the things that blew us away when we moved out here is the cost of living is so reasonable, and especially out here in Nampa and Canyon County.
I think there are a lot of things that make living in Nampa appealing. I know I'm biased. I think Northwest Nazarene University is part of it. I think having a university in your town brings richness in terms of culture. I think it increases your educational environment.
So the things that were attractive to my family and me, besides just the employment opportunity, which is a great one, is really the lifestyle, the pace of life. People are extremely warm and welcoming, salt-of-the-earth people. The other things that attracted us to the area were opportunities to get outside. We love being out of doors, and whether it's winter sports or water sports in the summer, there are so many things that are offered in this area.
From a lifestyle standpoint, I think what Nampa has to offer is the ability to spend more time with your family and with those you love.
I would say that what I gave up was traffic, commuting, which has been probably one of the greatest benefits for me to have a home office and to be able to, to work from Nampa.
I often talk to friends in other states who say, so tell me about your commute. And I say, well, I pull out of my garage and 6 minutes later I'm sitting at my desk. And they laugh and they say, no, really, tell me about your commute.
I love the location that we're in downtown Nampa. It's been fantastic because now that I moved into the actual downtown area, I've been connected with a lot of really great people who are like-minded, who support the arts, who are community-minded, who just really want to see my business thrive and flourish.
You have the ability to really get to know your colleagues here. And as a result of that, you build these relationships with others in your career field or in secondary fields that support your career that you're not able to build in larger metropolitan areas.
In Nampa, Idaho, as we look at human resource needs, getting the right personnel, whether it's the business I work for or others, what I've found in my own experiences and talking with others around Nampa is really we've got a lot of talent right here and talent close by. We've got some great colleges, great universities in the Treasure Valley.
I think it has all that is necessary for a business to be successful and to thrive. I think it also is a great community for employees of that business to live, to raise their families, and to really be a part of what I think is a great community.
I think when people come to Nampa and visit and work or live, they discover that it's a wonderful community.
You should come here because it's not what you're used to. And it'll make you change your thinking, and it'll make you change your lifestyle in ways that you didn't know were possible. But it'll all be for the better.
We built a beautiful home, moved into it right before the school year started. I've got a great job with a great employer. We've got great friends that we've made in the 2.5 years we've lived here. I honestly can't think of any downsides to our family's experience in Nampa, Idaho. I really can't. We love it here.
Welcome to downtown Nampa. Nampa is a vibrant city with a growing downtown scene. I love being downtown and running a downtown business because of the sense of community that we have down here. There's classes and the farmers market and art in the alley. There's something really here for everyone.
I'm Thomas Duncan. I'm the owner of Canyon West Guitars in downtown Nampa. We've been in this shop for 4 years now. We have community here. We work together. All the businesses just put their shoulders together. I love downtown Nampa because it's really authentic. There's something that's just classic about Nampa here. I'm an Old West kind of guy, and it just has an Old West kind of feel.
In downtown Nampa, we have lots of community events. Our summer event series is 4th Friday. It's full of live music, craft brews, the wineries come out. It's a great time for everyone. We have Messenger Pizza, which is handcrafted pizza by Nampa native people that have lived here a long time. That great artisan handcrafted feel. That's really what you get when you come into downtown Nampa. It's local businesses for people that live here, put together by people who live here.
I want people to think that we're a place that you can come and have a great cup of coffee and a slice of pizza and walk around and just enjoy where you are. Be part of something bigger.
So, I'll just talk when you guys can check that out, but so reasons to move out of state might be a job transfer, to be closer to friends or family. And if your destination is Idaho, I'm certainly here to provide information, answer questions, and help you however I can. But closer to the reason why I'm here, and the reason why I left, is the quality of life and the financial quality of life of what was my present, what was my future. So when I started looking at that, let's try to figure out what is it going to cost me to stay. And I was mentioning earlier that my daughter was about ready to start planting her own roots in the area. If I stayed, I'd probably end up staying here for the rest of my life. It was to the point where I had like $14 to the good every month. So, and that was one more raise in anything, in bills or whatever. I'd have to go get a part-time job just so I could keep my full-time job. And so I wasn't too thrilled with that idea. And then, like we were talking about with the schools, I knew that there must be some schools that were better than what we're looking to send our daughter to. So, really, the quality of life. In the last week or so, not that I've really been looking for it, but I came across some newspaper stories or news stories, and see if any of these might impact your quality of life. Well, I guess on the news yesterday, it just passed the Assembly cap and trade, and it's due to pass the Senate next Monday, and of course Governor Brown's going to sign it in. So prices are going to go straight through the roof with anything dealing with energy, and of course that's everything. California will spend more than ever before under the new budget, and California joins forces with communist regime against the U.S., and California closer to creating a sanctuary state, and Woodland is considering declaring itself a sanctuary city, and Jerry Brown's going to host the 2018 Global Climate Summit, and is that it? Nope. Oh, I couldn't believe this one. Effort to bar child marriage in California runs into opposition. So there's a state senator that found out that there's no law that bars a child from any age from being married off to a person of any other age. And he thought that that was wrong, so he's tried to pass a measure through the Senate, and all these opposition groups came out to make sure that it could still be legal to marry, for a 40-year-old to marry a 6-year-old in California. I mean, just that groups would come out to protect that, it just blew me away. So those are things that might impact your quality of life. And let's see. So what's the cost of the hassle of moving from California to Idaho? Well, I mean, there is a process. If you have a house to sell, then you're going to want to have information to help you make up your financial plans, and that's where Mr. Edwin, who's hosting us tonight. Thank you, Edwin.
You're welcome.
He's more than happy to provide you information on what your house is worth and whatever questions else you might have. He sold our house when we left, and it was the most nerve-wracking process, but because Edwin was there to hold our hand through the entire process, and we thought we were smart, so we were going to go FSBO, for sale by owner to start with, and when we got Edwin in, he got us over $75,000 more than what we were asking selling it ourselves. So it's definitely worth having a professional on your side. Hey, thanks, Edwin.
You're welcome. Just a quick question.
Sure.
Interruption, I'm sorry.
No, please do.
I apologize to everybody. I have a question in reference to, are there developments being built now by big home builders, or is everybody, just small independents building homes, or are there any big planned communities or stuff like that going on?
I don't know so much about planned communities as just subdivisions. We have some local people, Corey Barton is one of them, and apparently he was able to have a lot of cash on hand the last time the economy went down, and he bought up land that they'll be able to build on for the next 40 years. And they build, we have a Corey Barton house, and they build really nice, above entry level. We have a 1,845 square foot, bought it brand new, 3-car garage, 4-bedroom. It cost us $156,000, brand new. It was so nice. Prices have gone up a little bit since then, but and there are other smaller builders that build entry-level houses, smaller builders that build custom homes and higher-end homes. We have homes along the Boise River. The backyards back up to the river, and they're just nice big parade of home type homes. And
I'm sorry.
Oh, please do jump right in.
So are you saying there aren't big builders like Toll Brothers or Kaufman and Broad? Would it be more like when Morales built up here off of Granada? Is it more like that?
Can you help me out on that one?
Are you talking about Nampa? I can.
The size of the builder that we're talking about.
Right, in Nampa.
Okay,
Or do you have big developments?
here in California, there are big subdivision developments built by Kaufman and Broad, Kaufman, Toll Brothers, and so forth. Or you have your smaller builders like
you said,
Morales.
mhm.
He developed up there on Granada, and I'm not sure who developed the area over off of Fruitvale. They're smaller builders.
I forget who that was. And we do have the smaller ones that'll do smaller maybe infill projects. Our subdivision, which is a Corey subdivision, has 515 homes in it. And there's another one in our section, the other side of our mile by mile, that's I think another 300 homes are coming in that Corey's building. So he bought land. He's a nice, approachable guy too. You'll see him down at the cafe.
I wonder if that's who our friends are buying from.
Let's see. So the cost of moving, the hassle, we talked about Edwin. The cost if you don't move, I kind of touched on that. Like for us, my decision was, my daughter's gonna start driving soon and then be going to college, get married, have kids, and I'll be stuck in California. And so we got her up there, and it turned out that she used to be a real shy little thing, and she got involved with the speech class, speech and debate, and she just jumped into that. And then that led to her friend encouraged her to take theater in high school. And from that, she went to Boise State, and she's got her first 2 years at Boise State are full ride scholarships, and she's on the dean's list. She told me last week. She's just fantastic at it. Every time you turn around, she's just happy as can be because she got another responsibility. And she doesn't do the acting part; she's the technical lighting and stage managing, and so that's my quality of life there. I talked about if I stayed, I would have had to work more and I would have had less money. And I would have had less money. I've been working paycheck to paycheck for the rest of my life staying in California. So moving up there, I don't, because things are cheaper and there's just, in case in point for cheaper, I have Exhibit A. Here is my gas bill from January, the first week of February, and this is the worst winter we've had since the mid-'80s, and we kept that place warm, and it was $84 for the month.
For a month?
For the month.
Is that just gas and electric?
That's just gas. Now my electric, this is the latest one I just got, and we've been having the same heat wave you guys have been having, and we run our air conditioner 24/7 all night long, which growing up I never would have even considered that. It's like heresy. And our bill is $76.
We just got a $400 PG bill.
Oh my gosh.
It's $600.
That's crazy.
300
of it was electricity.
Here's our water. We pay, it's water, sewer, and trash is all in one, and we pay it every 2 months. So this is $130, so that means it's $65 a month for.
But that's for water, garbage,
and sewer.
And sewer.
Now for our sprinklers, we have irrigation water, and that's a completely different system. And that's about $100 flat rate for the entire year.
Is that just your area? Do you have HOA?
Oh, we do have a HOA. It's $160 a year.
A year?
A year.
And there's various water districts throughout that area.
A bill last month will be
For-
Pay a
right.
really flat fee for all of them, I think.
Mhm. Exactly right. Everyone's got their own little irrigation district, and so everyone's. Oh, and this year they asked us to use as much water as we can on our yards because the reservoirs are so full.
And that's just to work outside irrigation. Other than that, everybody's on city water.
Right, for your drinking water.
So your irrigation water is $100 a year.
Flat rate.
Flat rate.
Not metered.
And so that's for your lawns and plants and all of that stuff. And it's not, it's just this house is 100 and this house is 100 and this house is 100. Is that the way it works?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So if you were on 5 acres and you wanted to grow Christmas trees or something?
No. When it comes to
Commercial?
Well, when it comes to like acreages, if you have a house, you are authorized to have a half acre irrigated with your well water. After that, you have to go get water rights, and you'll know about that with depending on whatever property you have. It may come with it. There may be some property that doesn't, and different things like that. But if it's already being used for, say, agriculture or pasture that's irrigated, then the water rights will probably go with it. But it's certainly something you can find out before you move in.
What about homesteading?
Homesteading.
Yeah,
What do you mean
Texas,
by that?
When you're out in the urban areas, you can homestead it, and it costs the taxes then go down $50 a year.
We have a homeowner's exemption, and what that is, and this is, so they take your assessed value of your house, they say it's $200,000, and they cut off $100,000. So you pay property taxes on $100,000.
And what's that? Oh, go ahead. Excuse me. You go ahead.
I think you had the same question actually. So what's the rate on that, on your property taxes?
Well, it depends because there's always different, districts, a school district, park district, and so it's always a little bit different wherever you go. But I can tell you for me, like I say, we bought a brand new house in 2014, 1,865 acres, feet, 0.2 acres, and our bill this year is $1,650.
Okay, so basically you're sitting on about a 7,000 square foot lot, technically. About 100 deep, 70 wide,
Sounds about
thereabouts.
right, yeah.
Right? So you're saying that would be about 1,600, just to kind of, not to hold your feet at the fire.
Right.
Obviously.
Just roughly, yeah.
Just roughly.
But is it based on price that you close, just like here, or?
It's based on the assessed value. So that every 5 years, they send an assessor out to look at your house, and they take a picture, and then every year in between, they have some algorithm. And then every 5 years, they take a look at your house.
So how much, is there a limit on how much they can increase it each year? Like right now, we're under Prop 13.
No. And see, that's another beautiful thing, is that in Idaho, the people can have a say. So if local government's kind of getting out of hand in one direction or another, people step up and complain, and then things kind of come back to where they're supposed to be. So, it's worked that way with our school districts. Oh, well, let me show you this one. Nampa was just named the best run city in America by Wallet Hub. Yeah. So it's
Run City.
Wallet Hub.
Wallet Hub.
Wallet Hub.
Have you heard of that?
No. Did you say wallet? Like I keep my money in my wallet?
Right. So that was kind of nice. I'm not sure exactly what it means, but it means Wallet Hub thinks that we manage a city pretty well. And I think we do. Our mayor's just a regular run-of-the-mill guy. He's been selling insurance for the last 40 years. He's pretty level-headed. Oh, and speaking of the same kind of mentality, I don't know if any of you guys are ever interested in guns or not, but I did pull this off of the government's website, and it says that there's no state permit required for the purchase of any rifle, shotgun, or handgun. Idaho statute allows residents 21 years of age and older who aren't disqualified from having a permit, it's like felonies or whatever, to carry a concealed firearm statewide without a permit. So you can carry a concealed firearm statewide without a permit. Permitless, then if you're 18, between 18 and 21, you can carry outside of city limits, but then you have to have, I don't think you can get a permit till you're 21. You can also carry your firearm in your vehicle inside the city limits or anywhere else, but if it's inside the city limits, it has to be in plain view. It could be loaded or unloaded, doesn't matter to them. But if you are going to conceal it, they said they want it unloaded or disassembled. I'm not sure what the thinking behind that is, but the people that cannot carry a concealed weapon are those who are intoxicated. So if you're not drunk, you can have your gun with you, concealed, open, you have it in the car, obviously in your home.
Two quick questions.
Sure.
Medical facilities, number one.
That's one of our biggest industries.
Because of my age and because of what's going on.
Right.
They lied when they said the golden years. And the second thing is the illegal situation in Idaho.
We don't get a whole lot of Canadians. But we do share a border with them.
Very good answer.
Do we have a lot of, it's not an issue up there. I'm not saying that we don't have some, but it's not what you see down here, and you don't see marches for illegal alien rights and things like that.
Okay, what about the medical facilities? Let me put it that way.
Okay. We have huge state-of-the-art brand new ones. My place, I go to St. Alfonso's. They've got a couple complete hospital facilities in Nampa. They have clinics all over town as well. They got a new cardiac facility, a new birthing facility. Then there's St. Luke's. We've got they got one of their big hospitals is new in town. Over in Meridian, they have some more St. Luke's and St. Al's. And so if you're a veteran, we have a really nice veterans facility, veterans hospital in Boise. And then on the other side of the valley in Caldwell, we have a veterans clinic. So you don't have to drive all the way across and stand in long lines and things like that.
I don't remember the name of the hospitals, but I was kind of researching that online, and a couple of them are rated pretty good. You can get online and look it up, and it'll tell you which specific it rates on, like cardiac care, lung cancer.
We don't live here. We live down. We're in Hercules. For years, I'm from San Francisco. For years, I've been using St. Mary's. But by being up here with the restaurant, I started using these facilities. It's called North Bay. North Bay. These guys have got it together. They're really super. I mean, they're way ahead of the curve. And I feel really comfortable here now. And I would not go back to San Francisco. So that's why I'm asking. If we go there, that is a primary concern.
Right. And there's several different hospitals, like St. Al's, St. Luke's.
They're all tied in.
Well, no, St. Luke's is completely separate from St. Al's.
No, well, St. Al's, you said that there was one or two or three.
We've got two completely different hospitals of St. Al's in Nampa, and then some clinics.
Right.
We have West Valley Medical Center over in Caldwell, which is there's a St. Al's portion of that, and then there's a West Valley Hospital, and there's just tons of different, so like she was saying, if you go on the internet and you have specific things that you're looking for care, you'll find somebody there.
You ready to go?
Oh, not yet.
No, I'm done. I'm good. I'm really good.
The other thing is people are very friendly.
Oh, that's true.
You walk down the street and they say hello, and it's like, they're that friendly. As though you've known them for years.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So I wanted to mention, when we were looking to move, oh, where's James? He was want to hear this. When we were looking to move, we did all sorts of research and internet research, and we found this book, Strategic Relocation. And because we're just those nerdy kind of people that got to know everything before we jump in. And they go through every kind of different matrix that you could figure. And then this is a state-by-state summary. There's 2 states that they got 5 stars, Idaho and Utah. But what I don't like about Utah is that from Provo up to Corinne, it's 120 miles of built-up area. That's where Interstate 15 comes, and it's just traffic. If you want traffic, you might as well stay here, I figure. But Idaho doesn't have that traffic. But we got 5 stars in the categories of climate, population density, cost of living index, private land availability, building permits, traffic, taxes, crime, and the list just goes on. And so that was kind of reassuring to us. And I think one of the other big reasons we went up there was that low humidity. The humidity is almost just like Vacaville. And we had gone to back to Missouri, because that's where my folks live, and we thought, well, we might stay there. But that humidity, we didn't realize how bad it was. I mean, it's just miserable when you go outside, and you're just stuck inside in the air-conditioned rooms all the time.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Oh, yeah. Houston. Missouri.
Oh, yeah. Anywhere in Texas. Cockroaches, too, there.
How about microclimates? There's a difference like between Vacaville and Fairfield. So do you have the same kind of microclimates?
No, not so much, because unless you get real close to Lake Lowell, which is our 17 square mile reservoir next to Nampa, if you get real close to that, you'll get some cooling from it. But other than that, we're all in the same valley.
So the river comes through Nampa, is that, do I get that right?
No, we don't have a river in Nampa.
Lake?
We have a lake, Lake Lowell.
You mentioned a river.
Boise.
Oh, we have the Boise River. That's more along the top edge of the valley.
I see.
And on the west edge is the Snake River as it comes down. And so that's that. But I also this is where I want to pass this around and ask you guys, if you're interested in getting my free, no cost or obligation relocation guide. This has great information on the different towns in our Treasure Valley area medical centers, information on the climate, and I'll pass that around that way. What else did I have? Oh, Century 21. We have a really pretty fun little program called Zap, and you can do your own home searches on it, and it's okay. I got something to show you, so and it's updated every 15 minutes as opposed to, say, Zillow, which can have stuff on there from 2 months ago or whatever. So if you give me your email address, I'll send that link so you can, if you want to, you can sign up for the Zap program, and then you can, you guys already have that.
We don't have that yet, do we?
And you'll get that tonight. Or tomorrow, depending how late we stay here tonight. What else? So we got the Zap program, the relocation guide. Make sure you contact Edwin if you have any questions about the real estate here, if you need to sell a house or
What's the difference between the home buying process in Idaho and California? Like some states you're required to have an attorney. I don't think Idaho's one of those.
Idaho's not one of those. Yeah, we have our standard forms that come from the National Association of Realtors, and those seem to do just fine for almost every transaction. So the costs are pretty minimal. It's pretty quick. I had a lady and her husband from Olympia, Washington. They had sold their house on Thursday. They came out here, found them a house. They're paying cash, so we could close real quick. And they signed the papers for their next house the next Thursday. And we gave them the keys that Friday because I had.
I'm sorry. What inspections are required in Idaho?
It depends on the lender. I mean, if you're getting a FHA loan, they're going to require that you have an appraisal, and I always suggest or strongly encourage people to get a home inspection just so they can see what might be there, and that typically costs about $365. And we've got a real good guy that does it. He's very the one house I was just talking about, that homeowner's exemption, if you move in if you close before the 15th of April, then you get the homeowner's exemption for that year. And this was the week before the 15th. And we were doing everything we could to get the inspection done, everything filed with the county, and we got it done.
The foreclosure process is a regular trustee sale?
Yeah. I mean, we're a deed of trust state, so the process for foreclosure is a lot quicker than having to get bogged down in courts for months and months and months. To buy a foreclosure house is pretty easy because it's just a different seller, but it's just still a regular seller, and so it might take a couple extra days for whatever kind of approval, but it's a fairly quick process. We don't see as many foreclosures anymore because the economy is so much better. We've kind of weathered that storm, but I am doing a short sale right now. Citibank is just a thorn in my side, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. If you're thinking about moving up there, and you might be financing a house up there, before you make any changes in your life here, I would strongly encourage you to talk with somebody, perhaps even this finance guy that we always use. His name's Corey Newell, and he works over Evergreen Home Loans. I got a couple of these. I'll share them with you. And what he will do is make a plan with you. So if you're like changing jobs or changing industries.
Do you want one of these? Ooh. Do you want one of these?
Yeah, I want to email you the link, and then you'll have one as a PDF.
Oh, okay.
But it's some good information in there. That way, if I send it to you as a PDF, then you can send it on to other people too.
Yeah, but I don't want to send your picture.
Oh. Well, I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate that.
I'm just
It makes that spider run, doesn't it? Here we go.
It's hanging out.
So, yeah, if you're in a particular kind of a job here, then you might want to apply for your loan up there while you're still working here. But before you do anything, map out a plan with Corey. So you make sure you can do this and that and the other thing in the right order, so you don't disqualify yourself from some lending program or.
Don't buy a car.
Don't buy a car, yeah.
Big purchases.
Another one would be, what did we just have recently? I don't know, I think my brain went blank. But anyway, it's nice to have a plan before you make a major change. Like, don't sell your house, don't quit your job until you know that there's a particular reason to do it. And let's see, oh, and we're doing this again tomorrow, so if you know of anybody else that might benefit, maybe you guys have family you'd like to encourage to come over, and maybe they'd like to move to Idaho as well. We'd surely like to have them. And I guess this is kind of the question and answer period. If you guys have any specific questions I might be able to help with, or...
So you just, you moved, left here, you just love everything about Idaho. What do you miss about California?
People?
That would have been
My friends, that would have been it. My family already left, so they were smart.
So administratively and just business-wise, nothing?
Oh, from Vacaville? No. I mean, Vacaville, the nice things about Vacaville as a community is kind of what we see in Nampa. We have our Andrews Park, we have our downtown, we have...
You're saying Napa?
Nampa.
N-A-M-P-A. We've got limos.
Is that your business?
One limo.
We've...
Like a suburb of Boise area.
Oh.
So what do you know about Kuna?
Kuna is, I don't know, 12 miles from us, kind of to the south. It's a growing town. They've, let's go like this. There we go. There's Kuna. They've got a really nice 4-lane highway that goes up to the interstate. So this is becoming kind of a place where people are moving to, because the houses will be a little bit cheaper here, but it's still a very quick drive into Boise or even Meridian.
How about Eagle?
Eagle is kind of it's an older community. It has kind of a reputation like maybe Nampa does. No, it's the hoity-toities who don't live in Boise, they live up in Eagle. And in Star kind of wishes they were Eagle. They're kind of like Eagle Light. The governor lives there.
They can make it even worse.
Yeah.
So in here it says Nampa is the second largest city in the state. That's right. And what's the actual population?
The sign says 81,000 something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But Meridian, I'm sure the next time they do a census, that'll overtake us. But we're pretty close to each other right now.
Okay, because you were saying winters are, how we could say this,
Milder?
What do you call him, mild?
Well, this last winter, it was completely different than anything that they've had in 30, 40 years. But before that, I was out truck driving, and my wife is home for the whole winter, and it snowed 3 times, and she never scooped snow once, because it would just melt off pretty quickly.
Do they need to plow the roads?
That's the Boise River.
They plow the main roads, usually. Not always, but usually. Because if they have a warm day coming up, then they just let the cars, kind of smoosh it into slush. And the side roads, they never plow. Except last winter, our HOA hired some plows to come in and do our subdivision, which was so nice of them.
So do you have to do special preparations for the winter? For instance, we have a daughter who lives in New Jersey, and they put a special cover on their pool before winter. They drain all their irrigation in preparation for the winter, and then they have to open it up again in the spring. And that was a foreign idea to me until I heard that they had to do that, because I've never lived where it gets that cold. So do you do that in Idaho?
Yep, up here we have these guys that go around and do blowouts, and they have an air compressor that they tow around on the back of the truck towards the end of the season, because the irrigation water turns off at some point, made by somebody in the government to turn it on in the spring and turn it off. They turned it on early this year because the reservoirs filled up so quickly. But anyway, at the time that they shut them off, these guys will come around and they'll hook the air up to your sprinkler system, and they blow it out, and then all the water comes out of all the little pop-ups, and then $25, $30 later, they're going to the next guy, and it's just really, that's about it. We don't have a pool up there. Most people don't. But we don't, cover up our outside hose bibs, or we didn't even bring our hose in. It's still outside. It's so it gets cold, but it doesn't stay cold. Last winter, like I say, was the worst winter since the 80s, and it got down to -11 one night. And so that was the night I made sure I stayed in. But I think in there it says that the average low temperature in the wintertime is something like teens or 20s. So it's not bad.
No sweat for you, George, after living in Tahoe, right?
What's that?
No sweat for you after living in Tahoe.
No, the last year I left Tahoe, I had over 40 feet in my driveway. And I had a 162-foot driveway. And the guys from the state, you get to know them when guys are local. They would come with those big,
Snowplow?
and push the snow over, so you could get in. It was crazy. I was the last phone on the mountain. So anybody who lived in further than me had their answering machine in my house. So I had to have 25 answering machines. But I get to see everybody all the time.
There you go.
That was the best part of it.
So I know one of her main concerns is, ice. She's never driven on ice. Right, that actually knew everybody. So that's one of her main concerns.
Do you have a front-wheel drive car?
No.
No.
Oh.
Four-wheel drive and a Tahoe.
Yeah, you're good.
One car is 4-wheel drive, the other one doesn't.
So my daughter hadn't driven until we got up there because she wasn't old enough and she got her license. So the first good snow, I took her out to this huge parking lot and we just practiced. We practiced steering into the skid. And after, half an hour, she was an expert at it. And she's going out and teaching her other friends how to do it. And, growing up in the Midwest we drove on rock roads and we had ice and we just thought it was normal to drive like that. And it's like, kids do it. You guys can do it in just a couple of minutes.
No, that's okay.
You guys live in Fairfield? You sound like you live where it's cold.
I live in Fairfield all my life.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Delta breeze gets cold.
Yes, it does.
It's a godsend in the summertime, though.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Church on every corner. Because you said godsend, it reminded me of that. The one thing, beer cost more. So, I don't know.
What's the price of gasoline up there?
It was $2.57 the other day. So a little high. It's not as high as California, I don't think, but
No.
It should be lower. And people complain about it all the time, and so I'm sure that'll be one of those things that get addressed. And we don't have a whole lot to complain about, though, but we find stuff.
Cool. What about wages up there?
Wages are less than what they are down here.
By
There's something I didn't hear about that. Let me see if I can find it for you.
that Napa site will have a lot of, that type of specific by industry kind of broke out. But I think the average household income in the valley is something like 45,000.
40. Oh,
This Boise.
40, almost 49
Almost 49,000.
is the median.
So if you've got a retirement income or something like that from California and you take it up there, it goes further because everything's so much cheaper.
Right.
But if you're working up, medical and construction is off the hook. I mean, if you have a pulse and you can swing a hammer, you're getting a job. A couple months ago, I went to a briefing and they said that they were 6 months out on pouring foundations.
Oh my God.
That's good.
So there's they're 6 months behind. They needed 6 months worth of foundations for it because there's just that much need. And so if you're in construction, that's the place.
Do you have a question?
I do. Two. Do they have Regal cinemas? And what's the cuisine like out there?
What kind of cinemas?
Regal?
Regal.
Regal.
No. I think they got Edwards.
They have Edwards. That's a Regal.
And we had, is
That's
it?
good.
Okay.
That's good.
We've got 2 Edwards theaters in Nampa. One's a 18 and one's a 12, I think.
Oh, great.
So the cuisine.
That was a great
what
question.
kind of food? What's going on out there?
Do you like Indian food?
I do. Well, what kind of Indian food?
Like curries and
Oh, yes,
tandoori.
I do.
and
Yeah. That's good.
There's a new one. I think there's one downtown that's really hoity-toity. It's in one of the big tall buildings. There's a buffet that's kind of out in the north end of Boise, and it's fabulous. There's a new one I haven't tried yet over by the mall. Oh, the mall's heard of the Cheesecake Factory? We've got
What
one
about
of those.
seafood? Do they?
Seafood.
Seafood restaurant?
Well, I know there's sushi restaurants just about, I think we must have 3 or 4 in Nampa. I'm not a big sushi fan, so. There's a Korean restaurant, a couple 3, because Tammy was stationed in Korea, and she loves bulgogi and kimchi. I don't know why. Bulgogi's all right. So we go whenever, we're out. Oh, do you want to eat? Oh, so we go to one of her places. Cuisine, beef, steak, salad places. Do you like Baldo's?
I've never eaten there.
You're mainly talking about Nampa when you're talking food? Because Boise has a lot, right?
Boise has a lot. Oh yeah, downtown.
And how far is Boise from there?
It's about, well, there's 10 Mile Road, so it's 10 miles from there to downtown.
Boise's 200.
Hey, I'm loving it, Charles.
Do they deliver you that
Yeah,
you're talking about?
I haven't been there.
Hey,
You got a waiter station?
no, In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, In-N-Out burger.
We don't have In-N-Out, but we got a restaurant you could buy. Yes, we do.
All the best burger you want.
Now I'm looking at the population up here. It is really wide and different. It's saying about 81,000, and I'm seeing 67,000 white. And then when I look at black, I see like 600.
600 people.
Yeah. So is that, is they just in one little area, it's sprinkled through?
Oh, no.
What's going on?
In fact, I did some research on that. And there's this black guy that moved to Boise, and he did a little 5-minute video on it. And he's saying, everybody told me don't go up there. They're all racist. They're all gonna be after you. And he said, don't believe the hype. He said, people are not like that. He said, the people are so friendly up here, and they're all about whatever it is they're doing. They're not about, what color you are or anything like that.
Most people that haven't been anywhere think like that anyway. I don't think like that.
So we out here in Boise, Idaho, and there was some skepticism before I got out here. They're like, yo, you sure that's what you want to do? Like, Idaho though? I don't think they too much care for black people. And I'm like, that's what's gonna stop me though? I just gotta check it out, see what's going on real quick. So I'm here, and I must say, I ain't had no issues. So, I looked up articles about things to do in Boise, or the most scenic spots in Boise. And I'm gonna be real, man, when I saw that Boise State Stadium, #2, most scenic spot, I was like, nah, man. If that's the most scenic, then player, we in trouble. What's the big deal about a stadium? But when I seen it, seeing that blue field was epic, though. The thing about Boise is, it's an outdoorsy type of place. You're gonna have to entertain yourself, playboy. You know what I'm saying? Or play girl. You're gonna have to do that. Outdoors is beautiful, man. Look at this. Check me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm basking in the ambiance right now. So as I was doing what Idahoans do, I don't know if that's the technical term or how they say it, but I wouldn't go for it. I'm just gonna say, as I did as the Boiseans, as I did for these people, I ran into a few people that said yo, man, look, you can put a video out there, man, but let's not hype up Boise too much, man. I like the fact that not a lot of people are here. You know, I can drive to work with no traffic. That's what they told me. So they said, no, don't bring the people in like that. But I'm giving the information what they said. But Boise is a cool little town, and I enjoyed myself, and I love to go out here and shoot in nature, man. It makes me feel all warm and tingly inside. You know what I'm saying? Microwaves my heart. If you want to check out Boise, don't let rumors stop you from doing anything. You're gonna miss out on something golden if you keep on thinking about the rumors. Check it out, man. All right? Man, drop that music video home.